Presentation, we have the Gardner Chamber of Commerce 2023 Work Plan. Jason, welcome.
Thank you. Well, good evening, Mayor, Council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you here tonight and to partner with the City of Gardner to continue growing our business community. Thank you. So I'm excited to be at the Chamber as we move out of a period of relative uncertainty. Appears to be a big time of transition in the chamber world. Since I've come on board, two of the other larger chambers in Johnson County have announced, or either have or have announced leadership changes. We've had changes in CVB and EDC heads in other chambers as well. So I think it's a good time for renewal. It's been great to get to know existing colleagues, but some of the new people coming on board as well too. So I will say I initially expected about a 60 or 90 day ramp up time, kind of get familiar with the processes and procedures. Discovered that's not anywhere close to enough time to get a hold of all the variety of things we do and work on at the chamber. So I feel convinced it's going to be kind of take a full year cycle of getting through everything once to feel like I'm kind of educated on what's going on there, with all the things that we work on and manage with the chamber, the staff of myself and two part-time people as well. But I am settling into the role finally and really enjoyed developing relationships with my staff and obviously our members and partners like the city. So, quick update, we are just over 250 members currently. When you add in what we call our courtesy memberships, which are those businesses with addresses here in Gardner but that aren't full members, we're a little over 400 right now. We'll be working on converting some of those into full members this year, help build a little stronger organization. Just completed our budget, pending approval. We expect to just crack over in the $250,000 mark for our budget this next year. So significant growth, I know, since I think 4 or 5 years ago, previous change in directors. So obviously a lot of credit goes to Jason Camus and the organization to grow to that point, and we look forward to continuing that. So tonight, just kind of give you a brief recap of what we've done so far this year. Obviously, focus will be on the 6 months that I've been here, and then obviously look forward to next year and what we're planning on doing for 2023. So, jump in here. So things we do, specifically that relate to city and promotion. Our website, 30,000 unique visitors so far year to date. So that's mostly searches for businesses. And business information. Our social media, our reach on Facebook is over 55,000, so almost twice what we have on the website. We are working on growing our presence on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. So that's something we're going to use some technology tools. My background prior to the chamber was in technology, so try to branch out a little bit further beyond that primary tool there as well. Calls for service, we're at about 400 right now. That's been maybe one of the more entertaining things of the job, is to find out what people call for. We're a little bit of information, a little bit of Google. We get things all over the place. So obviously job seekers, job promoters, people calling about events. We had quite a few calls, particularly related to the air show this year, primarily around parking, but just in general. I will say one of the things we strive very hard to do is answer the question regardless of what it is. So even if we aren't the primary resource, we want to try to get somebody the answer if we can get it for them on that first call, and just kind of provide that positive connection with our organization and the community. Along with that, relocation information. So we put some design effort around what was before kind of just an Excel spreadsheet listing various single family and multifamily rental locations. We added some utility information outside of city, but phone and cable providers and some other things. So we've got that as something we can print and hand out for somebody that stops in, or obviously email out, along with magazines and those kind of informations as well. New resident bags, a little over 300 delivered this year. I want to say thanks to Officer Slimates, who does that with us. They do a great job getting those delivered. My understanding that number is lower than it has been in the past. I think my understanding that's due to a change. Previously, that information comes from city staff when utilities are turned on, and that's now an opt-in program, so not everybody is opting in to get those. But a number of calls and emails. We'll get follow-ups and people saying thank you for doing that. It does really make them feel welcome. Our businesses love being able to get in front of people as well too, so that's a big benefit to businesses. It's one of the big drivers for people joining, to be able to get information out to the residents as well. Just before Thanksgiving, we put the wraps on the next edition of GE Magazine, so obviously that was my first iteration through that. It was more work than I expected to be on our end, but kind of a fun process. That should be, it was sent to the printer, so we should start getting those delivered and seeing them coming out fairly soon. I don't have a specific date yet, but that's obviously has membership directory, but a number of feature stories in there. Quick sneak preview. There will be a feature on a previous member of this council, so something you guys can maybe look forward to yourselves to have your own feature in upcoming years, or maybe not. So that's kind of what we've been. Yeah, I mean. Maybe not. We'll touch on the events we've had so far this year. So our chamber coffees typically do one of those a month. We had a high demand this year, so we were doubled up a number of months with 17 and one to go still this week. Had over 500 people attend those. Our annual events, so ranging from annual dinner and golf tournament, sporting clay, trivia night, those types of things. Had over 800 people involved in those. And then one of the more important ones, obviously, is our ribbon cuttings. So welcoming either new businesses, expanding or relocating businesses here. I know many of you were able to attend Dash and Anvil on Friday night, so great to see that. You guys are always welcome. Happy to have you there. And we schedule those when the business wants to be able to have their people involved. So the timing obviously doesn't work for everybody when we do those. Sometimes they're first thing in the morning, sometimes they're around lunch, sometimes in the evening, but those are always fun ones to do, and it's great to see people excited about their business and do that as well. So if you do have the ability, I'd love to have you there. Workforce development, just briefly on this. So I mentioned at the very beginning, we do job postings from our members. They can post them themselves, but generally they're contacting us, and so we'll post those on our website. That's a big portion of our hits, that and lookup information, and then our media wall, which I'll touch on that here briefly. One of the things that I think was at least discussed maybe early last year was partnership with the high school, and we got that kicked off, I think, right at the beginning of the school year this year. So we are kind of a liaison with their technical career program, and they've asked us to find businesses or members, not specifically members, but businesses that align with the technical programs that they have at the high school. And so what they wanted to do was, beyond just saying, here's what this path looks like, they're having their broadcast journalism students go out, do an interview with this person. They're putting together kind of some B-roll footage and putting that into a video production, and they're going to run it during their video school announcements. And then during that same week, they will have that person, hopefully that same person, but somebody from the same organization there at lunchtime to be able to answer questions. So the kids have heard more about a specific organization, have seen a face, and so that face maybe seems familiar, and so hopefully encourages them more to go up to people. They said it's not been as successful in the past when it's just a couple of tables of people sitting there and kids don't necessarily want to walk up and talk to them. So that first one is supposed to happen this week. I haven't seen the video itself yet, but that will be with somebody from Olathe Health regarding the nursing program. We've lined up someone for their construction program, so that'll probably be, presuming, beginning of their second semester here coming up. So something fun to work on with them. It's great to be involved with the school and the kids there as well. Tourism and marketing. We have a bi-weekly newsletter, reaches over 1,100 people currently. We try to have something from the city, county, business, and then members, and then kind of general information in there each time. So Gardner Parks and Rec information. You guys do a great job of having lots of events going on, so we never hurt for having something to put in there from the city perspective. Obviously, Johnson County Parks and Rec as well. One of the things that took me a while to get a handle on is the number of tourism-related organizations that exist and that we're a part of. So a few of those are listed here. So Regional Destination Alliance, which is Kansas City-wide, Northeast Kansas Tourism, which is the state's visitors program, and it's just the Northeast Quadrant group. Obviously Visit KC, part of their organization. And so on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, we're providing event listings or destinations, attractions, those type of things to all these organizations, and they're doing the marketing either in print, website, social media, those types of things. This year we obviously had the air show, looking forward to having that again next year as well. The Fountain City Con that happened at New Century Fieldhouse. So we delivered and put out a few dozen posters and print material for both of those events throughout a variety of businesses here in the city. And then touch in a moment on what we've done at our office, but we, instead of kind of a table with information sitting out, we've got an actual literature rack outside our doors now, kind of rotating, and so we're able to display all of the information on GE magazines and area attractions and those types of things. We also bought a second one and installed at the library, and obviously they've closed at the moment. I think we're opening here in a couple of weeks, but we were going through and replacing literature 2 or 3 times faster than we were at the one by our office. So getting a lot of traction at that one, so it's great to have gotten that one installed as well too. Like I said, special projects, I would say probably half the time of the 6 months I've been here, there's been something going on relating to an office remodel project. If you've been involved in those, they are never short-term. Even on an office space, it's about 450 square feet. But if you haven't been by, please stop in anytime. The results, I think, are terrific. If you've seen this space before and see it now, it's quite a bit different. It's a little hard to tell in the thumbnail here in the picture. When I mentioned the media wall earlier, in the center there, it's standard television screen, but we're doing event promotion, marketing, news, those types of things on a rotating board there as well too. So Spaces Inc. did a great job with our project. One of the events we held was an open house. So that was a lot of effort. Beyond what they did was some of the internal demolition and those types of things we were responsible for, so managing that took quite a bit. We did have a candidate forum last month, or I guess it was in October, for last month's election for our House District representative. We had about 20 people there in person, another 16 at its peak live when we streamed it on Facebook, which aren't great numbers, but subsequently either on our social media, it was also posted on votejoco.com, which is part of the Johnson County Public Policy Council site, had over 1,400 views of that forum, so I consider that to be a great success and something we will continue to do in a variety of races going forward. In the Mission Main Street, obviously we're all aware of the construction project that's been ongoing, and we were looking to do something to help maintain the businesses along there, not specifically members, but just in general. So we came up with the idea for people to just take pictures of their receipts for any business along Main, send it to a special email address, and then we did $100 cash drawing at the end of the month for the last 3 months, and promote that, just to try to encourage people to do that. We're not sure what that's going to look like in 2023. We'll do something. We're kind of tweaking how we're going to do that a little bit, but something we obviously want to continue to promote as the project moves along and hopefully wraps up soon. So. Looking ahead to 2023, so in addition to continuing all the things that I just mentioned and doing them their second iteration in 2023, what got me involved in chamber activities to begin with was after I started my first business in 2005, I went through a leadership program in 2006, and that was really kind of the impetus for me being involved in chambers, so it's something near and dear to my heart. And so putting together a leadership program here in Gardner is a top priority for me. Had a discussion with Kansas Leadership Center on what they can do to assist, help building some of that leadership capacity. Many of the Johnson County chambers work together on several of the days throughout the year on kind of a coordinated effort on a county day and a state day, somewhat in the education realm. So had a couple of discussions with some of the other ones about that, and everybody's happy to bring us on board. So we'll be building that program through this year, and launching. Most of them start in January, so in January of 2024 we should have that program ready to roll as well. I'm looking to start in some form a couple of committees, so following on what I consider the success of our forum, I want to start a governmental affairs committee so it can both be a liaison, provide information to elected officials and also be a liaison to represent the businesses to them as well. And then we've had some discussion, obviously prior to me and then staff currently, about possibility of a formal CVV organization 2024 or beyond. And so kind of building that, putting the framework in place for that, starting a tourism committee with the chamber so we can kind of plan what that would look like and do that a little bit on a volunteer basis in anticipation of some potential funding. If we have another hotel come on and have some additional transient guest tax and formalizing that organization. So laying the groundwork there and putting that together is something we want to do in 2023 as well. I try to have a variety. I kind of mentioned availability of people in different times of the day. So I want to try to have events different times of the day, bring out different crowds. So we're going to start on a luncheon series. We'll kind of see what the recurrence of that looks like. I'm hoping for at least quarterly. But the first one is at least tentatively planned for early January. Working on a better name, but it's at the moment we're calling it a energy market forum. So looking to bring together a variety of providers of energy in the area, talk about how the energy is created, where it goes, who's setting rates, how it's paid for, all that kind of works together. Seems to be a relevant concept here, so working with a variety of people, and when we get things a little more formalized, be reaching out and seeing if somebody with the city wants to be involved in the forum as a presenter as well too. So those are kind of the new things. One of the things that's been ongoing, chamber and/or community foundation efforts. Met with a couple of organizations that kind of provide the back end on those. And so at this point, it's kind of seeing what that will actually look like in practicality and pulling the trigger to move forward with that. At the moment, it seems like probably the best framework is an encompassing community foundation. The chamber would having a fund within that. Some of the other organizations can have kind of their own fund. We manage the AS Reese Scholarship Fund, so that would be a separate one. If the farmers market wanted kind of their own thing. So obviously with that, a lot of it's the governance and the structure and getting all those things put together, but just continuing that process that we've already started. And then, so my staff and Danique has provided some information on an existing community profile. One of the things I want to have our new tourism committee work on is putting together a community profile that's more of a marketing brochure, so something we can provide in new resident bags, but obviously also to provide to the city, provide to EDC, that kind of encompasses all of what Gardner has, so including some school information, obviously promotion and marketing, those types of things as well. So that's one of the things we'll get done here in 2023 as well. So I think that mostly covers what I wanted to address. Yes, so just want to say thanks again for your time this evening. Looking forward to strengthening my relationship with the council and staff as well. Happy to come back sometime middle of the year next year. Hopefully have more of a kind of discuss the capacity building, what we've gotten done. A lot of my time at this point obviously has been getting up to a point, so kind of been more operational activities I've been updating you on this evening, but hopefully more on progress next time around. So happy to come back and do that, and again, thanks for your time. So happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. You might stay for just a second. Do we have any questions, council? I think it'd be great if you did come back about mid-year and update us on some of the projects you just talked about.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Jason.
Thanks.